Jinx, Beachhead, both of them, same time. They have to be open together. There is a reason. I have talked about this on here many times. I have said I don't have a lot of experience with G.I. Joe. When I was growing up, I played with G.I. Joes. I didn't watch G.I. Joe. I didn't read G.I. Joe. I've probably read 20 comic books ever, at best. I've seen a DVD, which was like a movie, like a CGI type of movie or something, kind of, that came with like a Snake Eyes. I don't remember what it was, but I watched that. And then I have seen one episode of G.I. Joe ever. Like ever. I don't have a lot of experience with G.I. Joe. I see cool army men, cool ninjas, cool sci-fi combat stuff. And the figures are so utterly fantastic from Classified that it got me interested in G.I. Joe again. It makes me feel like a kid. When I was a kid, I would go to the store, I would walk down the aisle, there were G.I. Joe everywhere. That was a thing. G.I. Joe! It was everywhere, man. It was being sold like crazy. Heck, I bought the Street Fighter G.I. Joes. I remember that. I loved the Street Fighter G.I. Joes. And I remember I had a harder connection to them because I played Street Fighter. I knew Street Fighter. Now there were toys that were Street Fighter, still G.I. Joe, so they matched with all my other guys that I already had. Oh, it was fantastic. I even had a couple Jean-Claude Van Damme toys that were also G.I. Joes. Like, I did like G.I. Joe, but I never watched it. I never got into it. I never knew the lore or anything about it. That was not what I was about. I would walk down the aisle, I would find a G.I. Joe, like this guy, and I would take him off the rack, and I would look at him, and I would be like, oh, he's cool. And then I would look at his weapons, I would look at him, and I would think on the spot what his storyline is. Why does he have the mask thing? Is that because he works in a cold region or whatever? What's with this? What are these? Is that just a bunch of ammo? Is that like part of what he's about? Like, what's with the pants? What's with the guns? How come he comes with double knives or yada yada? Oh, he gets grenades? Like, and then my mind would come up with a storyline, and that's who that guy was. All I would ever have is this info here. Beachhead, G.I. Joe, that guy. I got a storyline. I remember there was minor details back here. But when I was a kid, I didn't care about that. I didn't even read it. I would get this thing home, open it, it's done. I'm going to check it out now. And then I would throw it away. My buddy was really into G.I. Joe, and he kept every single one of these. It wasn't until years later that I was upstairs, like, because he had a playroom upstairs in his house, and I was upstairs in his house, and I found all these cards, and I started reading them. He was like playing a Sega CD at the time. I can't remember exactly what. And so he's playing Sega CD, and I'm kind of already bored with it because, like, I could even tell back then that Sega CD was just like watching games play themselves. It wasn't blowing my mind. The kind of games that I liked, he also didn't play. So, like, sometimes I would go over there, and it was my buddy, who I spent a lot of time playing G.I. Joes with. He specifically was a buddy who, like, he was my neighbor, and that's why we were friends. So sometimes we would go over, and sometimes we would, like, I wanted to play Final Fantasy or something because I was very much into that stuff, and he was like, oh, we're playing Contra or Gauntlet. And I'm like, okay, those games are fun, whatever. And so then I left it alone. So here's the thing. I started seeing all these cards and started reading them. Kind of got me interested. I realized there was a little more realism to it and everything, in terms of, like, there was actual story for all these characters that I already made stories up for in my head. And I always told myself I should probably watch it someday. Like, be neat. But back then, something would leave the TV, and that was the end of it. One night, very, very, very late. Like real late. And I can't remember if this was Cartoon Network or Boomerang. Maybe it was Boomerang. I honestly do not remember. But I was on a cartoon channel. This is what I specifically remember. And I wasn't really watching TV. I was over at my computer, and if I'm being perfectly honest, I was probably setting up an emulator. Around that time, chances are I was probably playing with like an NES emulator or something like that, and I was trying to like play like ROM hack games and stuff like that. I wanted to see what other people were creating of stuff that I had already played. I was like really into that for a while. This one episode comes on. This is the only episode of G.I. Joe I have ever seen. Ever. I see Beachhead in this episode. And he's in like a dojo with Jinx. And they're fighting. They're like sparring with each other. And like Beachhead is keeping up with Jinx, which I remember even then when I was watching it, I was like, so like Beachhead can fight like ninjas? Is he supposed to be that hard ass? Is he supposed to be that cool? I mean, I guess maybe he could be. I don't know anything about it. Well, that's neat. I remember I watched that episode. These two people in a dojo fighting is the only episode of G.I. Joe that I have ever seen. Ever. That will change soon. I did buy the entire collection of G.I. Joe 80s cartoon. It was at Walmart. I said, oh, I've never seen it. I've always told myself I'm going to see it. $40? That's not really that bad. Sure, I bought it. It is downstairs right now. It is, the way I handle my stuff is below my TV. There's a rack, and on that rack, I put a queue of everything that I am currently watching. Currently, there's some stuff in front of it, but as I'm knocking that stuff out, I'm getting closer down the line to that being one of the series that I'm going to watch. So I will finally watch G.I. Joe as an adult. All these years later, I have no idea what to expect. I don't know if this is going to be a show where I can turn my brain off and it will work, or if this is going to be utter trash. And there's a real possibility. Because, look, I know people love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know people love that 80s show. I have tried, literally tried. Within the last year, I tried twice to watch that 80s cartoon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The intro is good. The first 6 episodes are good. And after that, every episode feels like a chore to me. Like, I cannot do it. I can't watch it. It just feels like a bad show. I don't know if this is going to be the same situation. I don't know if I'm going to watch this and be like, oh, guess I wasn't really missing out. It could be, because I've watched other 80s shows. I watched He-Man and I enjoyed it very much. I turned my brain off and I went with it. But the argument is that some shows still have storyline merit. Some shows are literally event of the week, same story every day with some jokes thrown in to keep kids occupied. Some shows do not survive without the toys. Some shows very blatantly could have. I don't know which this is. But, that all being said, let's open these things and finally add them to the shelf. Okay, whew, that was a lot. So, I actually had this guy growing up. Beachhead was actually one of those Joes that I had when I was growing up. And I'm happy to say, while I missed out on the first one, I did not get the classified version of him. This, I gotta hand it to them. They do a phenomenal job of taking exactly what we had as a kid and giving it to you at a new scale with modern articulation. I mean, this is it. I had this guy. Like, this kind of feels wild, if you want the truth of it. It's like holding an old toy in my hand, but it's not that toy at all. And he looks great, by the way. Like, everything about him looks good. The coloring looks good. The detailing looks good. Like, the denim type of feel looks good. The fact that this is very much a different kind of material, you can tell. There's like a stitching right there. I love that the way this is done. I love that this vest is actually a part that's like on him. It's like over the top of it, and then that really adds to like the way that it feels in general, because there's like an armor type thing. There's his backpack. Very solid, very cool. I've always said this. There's something about Joes where they like feel naked if you don't get a backpack. Like, something feels wrong when they don't have one. I like that he comes with these retro weapons that are just literally just these like green, like olive green-esque, because that's very much like of the time. Like, that's what we had. I don't actually know. I think these are bombs. I would have to look up exactly what he is, like what his job is. That's pretty cool. This is his gun. It actually has like a silencer thing on it. Is that? Oh, okay. And I see, once again, they went out of their way. I love this. Like, I've heard some people say I make a bigger deal out of this than than it really is. But like, look, guys, when I was growing up, he had a gun, but he didn't. Like, you couldn't take it out. Like, there were so many people that had like a handgun or a grenade or something that was attached to them, but they didn't. It wasn't actually there. You couldn't do anything with it. I think it is so cool that every single item that this person has, at least from the experience that I've been having lately, is an actual item that they have. It's an actual thing that you can carry on you. Like, he actually has that. And then he has this. And the knife actually goes in there. So he has a knife. And he has a knife. And he has a gun. And he's holding all of these items on his person. Then he has this. I don't see anything on this bag that would allow him to hold his 2 grenades, because he does come with these 2 grenades. And then he comes with this bag that you could easily just sling over his shoulder or whatever. And then, of course, he has this. And then he has this. And I'm going to put this on him because I want this old gun. I want this, like, old gun that is not, like, a real thing. Because, like, it's because it's, like, olive green. That's what I mean by it's not a real thing. Oh, no. Well, I dropped it. And yeah. Oh, wow, I really dropped it. I don't know where it went. I'll find it later. So, his hand is giving me a lot of trouble. So, we're going to switch to this gun just for the sake of... His trigger finger will not... There. Did I get it? His hand is giving me more problems than I've had with probably any other Joe, and I have no idea why. I may have to heat this up. I may have to cut into that finger. I don't think that his hand came out right, because I'm having a lot of trouble that I don't feel that I should have. But there he is. I'm happy with him. He really doesn't bother me. I'll have to look around for that gun. I dropped it. It had to have fell over here by my inventory stack. So, the next thing that I got... Oh, and he came with a stand. The next one that we got here is Jinx. And I did hear complaints about this when she was coming out. I heard people had problems with the tattoo, and people did not like that her arms were uncovered, and that we had like an update to Jinx. That they were mad that it wasn't exactly what they grew up with. I both understand and don't. I think this is really cool. I think it works. I think it's fantastic. And crazily enough, this is another Joe I had growing up. I had the all red. I remember this was the head specifically. So this was the head and all of this was red. She was a full red clad ninja with this head. And I'm going to be honest with you. I like this better. This has so much personality. That tattoo, that's personality. And that's tough, man. That's so cool. About right here. I really like that. And it's really intricate too. There's a lot of flower and everything like that. And like the wind design and everything that's on there. I think that's fantastic. I like that this hangs. This probably could have been split. I would have preferred if it was 2. But it's 1 and it's on there regardless. I do like that they gave us a classic head for it, so you can kind of make it close to the retro design. I really like the sword. I like that the sword goes on her back like this, and it fits very well, and that's absolutely perfect. It sheathes and everything, and they did a lot of detail on this blade. Not that I can show it off on this camera, but they did a lot of detail on that blade. She's fine. Like, I have no reason to dislike anything that I have seen from this figure so far. Like, I know some people feel a certain way about it. I am seeing this. I don't know if they drew shadows on her or if that's just supposed to be the actual color of her uniform. That way, I remember she was all red. And I'm sure if they do a classic variant design, like a retro card back of her, that we will only get this head and things like that. But I also really like this, that she got this blindfold headband thing. I actually think that is a really cool effect. And I just like it a lot. I just think it's really, really cool. You could pull it down. And then she kind of gives off Kenji vibes. Is it Kenji from Mortal Kombat? I really like that. I think that's really cool. I just think it's fantastic. Like, I do not have the problems that other people seem to have when they get into this line. Like, to me, G.I. Joe Classified is a complete redesign from the ground up of G.I. Joe toys that we grew up with. Modernized and reconceptualized. And I'm fine with that. And the retro card backs are the ones that we grew up with, completely realized. And if they want to keep releasing them like that, for me, on a personal level, I'm all for it. 100% I am game. I think that's exactly how this line should continue. And as for me, I'm going to put her on the shelf like this. I do like this, and I'll probably use it in a couple of images here and there, but this is sick. This is so cool. I really love this.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.